Salutations on this beautiful Sabbath, fallen angels. So let's go ahead and travel down memory lane and read this article that the Irish Central had posted regarding what the Pennsylvania Gazette wrote in the 1750s about two Irish runaway servants. Let's pay attention to how they described them. And this article is coming from the Irish Central, titled "They Hunted Down the Irish Runaways Like Animals in Colonial America." And it says, as we celebrate Irish American Heritage Month, was this March, as we can see, we shall remember those who came before and suffered enormously in the New World. The New World of America was not, for them, a tale of redemption and rising from the depths of poverty. Instead, it was a life of toil and hardship and hard times. Indentured servitude in the Americas was the fate of hundreds of thousands of young Irish men and women transported to North America in the 18th century. Many were hoodwinked with false promises, others were brought against their will. Many had their passage paid but were forced to work as virtual slaves for periods ranging usually from 5 to 10 years. Many of the indentured workers were treated dreadfully and were often abused and held in hideous conditions. Little wonder that many tried to escape from their masters. The runaway Irish were pursued and many hunted down. In addition, many masters took out newspaper ads promising rewards if they were caught. Now, pay attention to what's about to be said here regarding these advertisements. And look at the date, August 16, 1750. Runaway on the 12th instant from Joseph Jackson of London Grove, Chester County, an Irish servant man named William Farrell of middle stature and brown complexion. You hear this? So once again, this is the true description of how they were describing many of these uh, individuals from the territory that we call Ireland today, because this is who they were. This was their nationality. And unfortunately, they were placed into bondage just like many other melanated people from various different nations during that time. So that's the reason why we keep saying, brothers and sisters, do your genealogy. Genealogy is going to show you who you are. Continue. Had on when he went away a striped flannel jacket, a brown sailor's jacket, a pair of coarse trousers, striped drawers, a felt hat, and a check shirt, his hair cut off. Likewise run away with the aforesaid servant, an Irish servant man named Thomas Collard, belonging to Samuel Rosie or Ramsey of Londonderry, in the said county, of a dark complexion, and is pockmarked. Pause. So they're telling you Thomas Collard, even though he's a servant, he was belonging to Samuel Ramsey. And the description of Thomas Collard, he was an Irishman, or he was an Irish servant man, and he was also a dark complexion, equating what we'll call today black. So once again, do your genealogy, brothers and sisters. All right, let me continue this, and then we're going to go ahead and go to our favorite website, House of Names. So it said that he had on a green double-breast jacket with clear buttons and red lining, black breeches, black wig, his other clothes not certainly known. Whoever takes up and secures the said servants so that their masters may have them again shall have £6 reward for both, or £3 for either, in reasonable charges, paid by Joseph Jackson or Samuel Ramsey. And it's coming from the Pennsylvania Gazette. So if you want to find that article, look up the Pennsylvania Gazette, date August 16, 1750. Okay, so the first individual, his surname was Farrell. All right, and we have Farrell from the website House of Names. Origins, Ireland. Crest, coat of arms. Etymology of Farrell. The name Farrell means, or the Farrell surname comes from the Irish Gaelic name O Fergal, which means a valiant warrior. And then right next to you have where it says O Heart. And for those of you who just now hear my voice, know that my mother's patrilineal side, which would be my grandfather, he's a heart, which makes me also a heart. And it says the early origins of the Farrell family. The surname Farrell was first found in Leinster, where they were found mainly in County Longford. Fergal, Prince of Anali, appears number 105 on the line of descendants. was the fifth son of Milesius of Spain. This Farragut was slain fighting on the aid of Brian Boral at the Battle of Clontarf in the year 1014. However, some writers doubt this claim. From this progenitor rose O'Farrell bound, O'Farrell of Rathland, O'Farrell, the chiefs of Clanhilliot, O'Farrell of Mug, Triga, O'Farrell of Kinnock, and O'Farrell, chiefs of Clanawally, or Clanawley, O'Hart once again. And then finally, we have the last brother, who they said was an Irish servant, whose surname was Collard. But as we can see, the Collard surname actually goes back to England. So England and Ireland, which we already told brothers and sisters, are technically one and the same when it comes down to their blood stock, their family. Before it was actually England, it was Angloland or Angles, coming from the Gaels, and the Gaels are those who you know come from so-called Ireland, but they still encompass the whole so-called territory, what we call the British Isles in the ancient time. But anywho, the brother Collard, history, family crest, and coat of arms. Origins, as we see England. Look at the face or the heads on the coat of arms, which once again matched the description that was spoken of in the in the um in the advertisement in regards to the runaways. And Collard, it says etymology. The history of the name Collard begins with the Anglo-Saxon tribes of Britain. It is derived from the given name Nicholas. A common diminutive of the name Nicholas was co or colonel. The suffix ard was Norman, French suffix that meant son of. Another source notes that the name could have been derived from the Anglo-Saxon meaning a helmet, a hard. And yet another source claims the name could be Norman, origin deriving from Hammond, William, and Godfrey Collard of Normandy, 1180 to 1195, which they said this latter source seems unlikely. So once again, Collard goes back to the Anglo-Saxon tribes of Britain. This is how the Collard descendants will look. We know Anglo. Once again, like I told you, go back to the Angles. The Angles are related to those who go back to Ireland, which will make sense if this brother was a so-called Irish national who had Irish descent.